Time to discover 50 more random fun facts to blow your mind. From the weird to the wonderful. Let's dive in. Number 1. There's a crater on the moon named Walter, a surprising tribute to an otherwise ordinary name. Located in the moon's southern highlands, Walter Crater stretches over 80 miles wide and was named after the German astronomer Johannes Walter in the 17th century. Unlike more famous craters with dramatic rings or towering peaks, Walter Crater boasts a relatively smooth floor with central peaks. It serves as a reminder of how even everyday names can leave a mark on the cosmos. Number 2. Peacocks aren't actually called peacocks. The term peacock technically refers only to the males of the species, while the females are called peahens, and their adorable chicks are known as peachicks. Together, they make up the peafowl family, famous for their dazzling tail feathers and hypnotic courtship displays. Native to South Asia, these birds symbolize beauty and immortality in many cultures. So next time you spot a peacock, you might just be admiring a proud peafowl family instead. Number 3. That well-known math symbol featured on Ed Sheeran's album isn't just a division sign. It has a much cooler name, an obolus. This quirky term was coined in the 17th century by Swiss mathematician Johann Rahn. Originally, the obolus was used in ancient manuscripts to indicate doubtful passages, but it later evolved into the symbol we now recognize in arithmetic. While it may seem like a simple slash with 2 dots, the obolus has quite the mathematical history behind it. Number 4. The first 3 artists to draw Dennis the Menace all shared the same first name. What are the odds? David Law, David Sutherland, and David Parkins each left their creative mark on the mischievous comic character over the years. Launched in the UK in the 1950s, Dennis the Menace quickly became a beloved troublemaker, notorious for his pranks and red and black striped sweater. Thanks to the 3 Davids, his legacy continues to entertain generations of readers worldwide. Number 5. Water makes different sounds depending on its temperature. When you pour cold water, it produces a higher-pitched sound compared to warm water. This is because cold water is denser, creating smaller air bubbles that burst more quickly, leading to a sharper sound. On the other hand, warmer water flows more smoothly, resulting in deeper, softer tones. This fascinating phenomenon is often used by experienced tea makers who can determine the perfect temperature just by listening to the kettle. Number 6. It would take approximately 19 minutes to fall to the center of the Earth, assuming you could survive the trip. If a tunnel were drilled straight through the planet, gravity would accelerate you to nearly 18,000 miles per hour as you approach the core. However, friction and air resistance would slow you down, making the fall less dramatic than it sounds. Unfortunately, due to the Earth's intense heat and pressure, it's a journey that remains purely hypothetical. Number 7. A single pencil can draw a line an astonishing 35 miles long. That's because the average pencil contains enough graphite to create a continuous, fine line stretching farther than most city commutes. Pencils have been used for centuries, dating back to the 16th century when graphite was first discovered in England. Whether you're sketching masterpieces or jotting down ideas, your humble pencil is far more capable than you might think. Just don't try drawing that line in one sitting. Number 8. Oranges are naturally green, not the bright orange color we're used to seeing in grocery stores. In tropical climates, oranges stay green even when fully ripe because of the warm temperatures, which prevent the breakdown of chlorophyll. However, in cooler regions or after exposure to cold storage, they turn orange. Many oranges are artificially degreened, using ethylene gas to appeal to consumers' expectations. Despite their color, green oranges are just as sweet and juicy as their orange counterparts. Number 9. The Sahara Desert isn't as sandy as you might think. Only about 20% of it is covered in sand dunes. The rest consists of rocky plateaus, gravel plains, and even mountains. This vast desert, spanning over 3 million square miles across North Africa, is also home to unexpected landscapes like dried riverbeds and oases teeming with life. While the image of endless rolling dunes is iconic, the Sahara's terrain is far more diverse than most people imagine. Number 10. Easter Island's famous Moai statues actually have bodies buried beneath the ground. While their giant stone heads are the most visible feature, excavations have revealed that these iconic figures have torsos and even carved hands. Some of the buried sections contain intricate petroglyphs and markings that provide insight into the island's mysterious past. The moai were created by the Rapa Nui people between the 13th and 16th centuries, standing as silent sentinels of their rich cultural heritage. Number 10. The ancient Egyptians regarded onions as powerful symbols of eternal life. Their layered structure, with rings within rings, represented infinity and the cyclical nature of existence. Onions were so sacred that they were often placed in the tombs of pharaohs to provide sustenance in the afterlife. Archaeologists have even discovered traces of onions in the eye sockets of mummies like Pharaoh Ramses IV, showing how deeply intertwined onions were with beliefs about immortality. Number 11. Onions are often used in schools to teach students how to use microscopes because their cells are large and easy to observe. When a thin slice of an onion is placed under a microscope, students can clearly see the cell walls, nuclei, and other structures. This makes onions an ideal introduction to biology, helping young learners understand cell composition and basic scientific observation. Thanks to their accessibility and clarity, onions have become a staple in classrooms worldwide. Number 12. Arctic foxes are the only land mammals native to Iceland, thriving in its harsh and frozen landscapes. With their thick, insulating fur and compact body shape, they are perfectly adapted to the extreme cold. Arctic foxes primarily feed on birds, small mammals, and even leftovers from larger predators. Their ability to survive in such a challenging environment makes them a symbol of resilience, and they have played an important role in Icelandic folklore and culture for centuries. Number 13. Arctic foxes have an incredible adaptation, color-changing fur that helps them blend into their surroundings. In the winter, their fur turns a brilliant white, making them nearly invisible against the snowy landscape. When summer arrives, they shed this coat and replace it with a gray-brown one, which camouflages them against rocks and tundra. This seasonal transformation is essential for survival, allowing them to stay hidden from predators while also improving their ability to hunt effectively. Number 14. In 2019, studies conducted in China and Puerto Rico found a surprising link between consuming allium vegetables, such as onions, garlic, and shallots, and a lower risk of several types of cancer. Researchers believe that the sulfur compounds and antioxidants found in these vegetables help reduce inflammation and protect cells from damage. These findings reinforce the long-standing belief that onions and their relatives are not only flavorful additions to meals, but also powerful allies for health. Number 15. The largest bell in the Leaning Tower of Pisa, called La Sunta, weighs about 7,900 pounds, the same as an adult female African elephant. This enormous bell, along with 6 others, forms a musical scale when rung. Despite the tower's famous tilt, engineers have carefully managed the bell's use to avoid causing further instability. The bells have historically been used to mark important occasions, adding to the tower's charm and historical significance. Number 16. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was never meant to lean. During its construction in the 12th century, builders quickly realized the foundation, made of soft clay, sand, and shells, was too unstable to support the heavy marble structure. As the ground shifted unevenly, the tower began to tilt. Over the centuries, numerous attempts were made to stabilize it, including counterweights and soil removal. Today, thanks to careful engineering, the famous tilt has been preserved without risking collapse. Number 17. The earliest records of yogic practices can be found in the ancient Hindu scriptures known as the Vedas, specifically the Rig Veda, which dates back to approximately 1000 BC. These texts contain hymns and philosophical concepts that laid the foundation for modern yoga practices. Early yogis focused on meditation, breath control, and spiritual discipline as a path to enlightenment. Over time, these principles evolved into the diverse yoga styles that millions of people practice today for both physical and mental well-being. Number 18. Uganda is one of the youngest countries in the world, with nearly 48% of its population under the age of 15. This youthful demographic presents both opportunities and challenges as the country works to expand its education and healthcare systems. With such a large proportion of young people, Uganda is often seen as a nation full of potential, with the younger generation expected to play a crucial role in shaping its economic and social future. Number 19. On average, men tend to get bored of shopping trips after about 26 minutes, while women can often shop for much longer periods without losing interest. Studies suggest that men typically prefer a goal-oriented shopping approach, while women enjoy browsing and exploring different options. To accommodate this difference, many stores have introduced features like seating areas or entertainment options to keep men occupied while their partners continue shopping, making the experience more enjoyable for everyone. Number 20. A staggering 95% of people admit that they text things they would never say in person. Whether it's confessing feelings, apologizing, or even confronting someone, texting provides a sense of distance and security. Without face-to-face interaction, people feel more comfortable expressing themselves honestly or emotionally. However, this reliance on digital communication can sometimes lead to misunderstandings, as tone and nuance are often lost in text messages, making it harder to convey true intentions. Number 21. Human blood cells have different lifespans, each serving a unique function within the body. Red blood cells, which carry oxygen, live for about 4 months before being replaced. White blood cells, the body's defense against infections, can last anywhere from a few hours to several days. Platelets, responsible for blood clotting, circulate for about 9 days. This constant renewal ensures that the body remains healthy and capable of fighting infections, healing wounds, and delivering vital nutrients throughout the bloodstream. Number 22. The world's shortest tree, the dwarf willow, thrives in cold and harsh environments such as the Arctic tundra. Rarely growing more than a few inches tall, it spreads out horizontally to withstand freezing winds and extreme conditions. Despite its tiny stature, this resilient tree plays an essential role in its ecosystem, providing shelter for small animals and contributing to soil stability. The dwarf willow's ability to survive in such unforgiving climates showcases nature's remarkable adaptability. Number 23. Redheads have a unique genetic trait that makes them more resistant to certain types of pain, yet more sensitive to others. Studies suggest that red-haired individuals typically require about 20% more anesthesia during medical procedures compared to people with other hair colors. This difference is linked to the MC1R gene mutation, which affects not only hair pigmentation, but also pain perception and the body's response to anesthesia. As a result, doctors often adjust doses for red-haired patients accordingly. Number 24. As of 2024, Madagascar has a larger population than Australia, despite the latter being a much bigger country in terms of land mass. While Australia is known for its vast open spaces and relatively small population, Madagascar, with its tropical climate and rich biodiversity, supports a rapidly growing number of people. This surprising contrast highlights how geography, climate, and historical development can influence population distribution in different parts of the world. Number 25. Even though the Statue of Liberty stands proudly on Liberty Island, which belongs to New York, it is actually closer to New Jersey's mainland. This has led to ongoing debates between the two states over the years regarding ownership and territorial claims. However, despite its geographical proximity to New Jersey, the statue's official designation and governance fall under New York's jurisdiction. Regardless of the technicalities, the statue remains a universal symbol of freedom and democracy. Number 26. A squid's brain is uniquely shaped like a torus, or a ring, with its esophagus running directly through the middle of it. This unusual anatomy means that if a squid swallows food that is too large, it risks damaging its own brain. Despite this odd design, squids are highly intelligent creatures, capable of problem-solving, complex communication, and even using tools. Their fascinating nervous system and adaptability make them one of the most intriguing creatures in the ocean. Number 27. Some insects and small birds experience time differently from humans, seeing the world in what seems like slow motion. This is because their eyes process visual information at a much higher frame rate, allowing them to detect rapid movements that would appear as a blur to us. This ability gives them a crucial advantage when escaping predators or catching prey. Imagine how slow the world might seem to a fly dodging a swatting hand in what feels like slow motion to them. Number 28. Beaver anal secretions, known as castoreum, have been used as a natural vanilla flavoring in certain foods and luxury cosmetics. This musky, aromatic substance, produced from glands near the tail, has a scent reminiscent of vanilla and has been historically used in perfumes and food additives. Though it's rarely used today due to synthetic alternatives, castoreum remains a fascinating example of how unexpected natural sources have played a role in human culinary and cosmetic history. Number 29. The world record for stuffing drinking straws into a mouth at once stands at an astonishing 650 straws. Achieved by a dedicated record breaker with incredible jaw control and determination. This bizarre feat required not only physical endurance, but also strategic placement to maximize capacity. Such records, while amusing and seemingly impractical, showcase the lengths people will go to in order to achieve recognition in the Guinness World Records and push the limits of human capability. Number 30. Spread across an entire lifetime, the average person spends about 1 full year sitting on the toilet. Whether it's reading, scrolling on a phone, or simply waiting, those brief daily moments add up significantly over the years. This statistic serves as a humorous reminder of how much time we devote to everyday activities without even realizing it. With modern distractions, bathroom time has become more than just a necessity. It's often a brief escape from a busy day. Number 31. The year 46 BC, known as the Year of Confusion, lasted an incredible 445 days. Julius Caesar introduced 3 extra months to realign the Roman calendar with the seasonal year, as it had fallen out of sync. This adjustment was part of his larger effort to reform the calendar, eventually leading to the creation of the Julian calendar, which became the standard for centuries. The extended year caused widespread confusion, but successfully corrected the misalignment. Number 32. Every minute, the human body sheds over 30,000 dead skin cells. This constant shedding is part of the body's natural renewal process, as new skin cells replace the old ones. In fact, the outermost layer of your skin regenerates completely about every 28 days. Surprisingly, a large portion of household dust consists of these tiny flakes of skin, which accumulate over time. Despite being invisible to the naked eye, this process is crucial for maintaining healthy skin. Number 33. Tears contain a natural painkiller known as leucine and enkephalin, which helps reduce pain and improve mood. This chemical, released when we cry, acts similarly to endorphins, providing a calming effect during times of emotional stress. Whether caused by sadness, frustration, or even joy, shedding tears isn't just a physical response. It's also a built-in mechanism for self-soothing and emotional release. So the next time you cry, remember that your tears are actually helping you feel better. Number 34. Babies are born with around 300 bones, but as they grow, many of these bones fuse together, resulting in the 206 bones that make up the adult human skeleton. This natural process allows for greater flexibility during infancy, making it easier for babies to move and adapt to the world around them. Over time, certain bones in the skull, spine, and limbs gradually merge, providing the strength and support needed for an active adult life. Number 35. William Addis invented the first mass-produced toothbrush, while serving time in prison in the late 18th century. Using a small piece of cow bone and bristles from a pig, he crafted an early version of what would become an everyday essential. Upon his release, he turned his invention into a successful business, revolutionizing personal hygiene. Before toothbrushes, people used rags, sticks, or even crushed shells to clean their teeth, making Addis's creation a game-changer in oral care. Number 36. A hummingbird's tongue is a marvel of nature, capable of flicking up to 18 times per second while feeding. This rapid movement allows the tiny bird to efficiently lap up nectar from flowers, consuming its body weight in food daily to maintain its high-energy lifestyle. Hummingbirds have specialized tongues with tiny grooves that draw in liquid through capillary action, making them some of the most efficient feeders in the animal kingdom. Number 37. Bangladesh experiences 6 distinct seasons, unlike the 4 found in many other parts of the world. These seasons, summer, monsoon, autumn, late autumn, winter, and spring, each bring their own unique weather patterns and cultural significance. The monsoon season, for example, brings heavy rains that are essential for agriculture, while winter provides a brief period of cool, dry weather. The rich seasonal variation influences the country's festivals, farming cycles, and daily life in profound ways. Number 38. The world's first underground railway opened in London in 1863, revolutionizing urban transportation. Originally called the Metropolitan Railway, it featured steam-powered trains running through tunnels beneath the city. Today, it's known as the London Underground or the Tube, and it has grown into a vast network serving millions of passengers daily. Despite its modern upgrades, remnants of the original Victorian design can still be seen in some of the oldest stations. Number 39. London's iconic red buses have been painted their signature color for more than 100 years. The bold red hue was chosen in the early 20th century to help distinguish the buses from competing transport companies, making them easily recognizable to passengers. Today, the red bus is a beloved symbol of London, appearing in countless movies, postcards, and tourist snapshots, cementing its place in the city's cultural identity. Number 40. The tradition of Halloween has its roots in the 8th century, when the Catholic Church designated November 1st as All Saints' Day, also known as All Hallows' Day. This made October 31st the eve of the celebration, which was called All Hallows' Eve. Over time, the name evolved into Halloween and eventually Halloween. The holiday has since grown into a global celebration filled with costumes, candy, and spooky festivities, blending ancient customs with modern fun. Number 41. Roses are among the oldest flowers known to symbolize love and passion, with their history dating back over 5,000 years. Ancient civilizations, including the Romans and Greeks, associated roses with their goddesses of love, such as Aphrodite and Venus. The tradition of giving roses as a gesture of affection continues today, with different colors carrying specific meanings: red for love, yellow for friendship, and white for purity. Their timeless beauty and fragrance make them a universal symbol of romance. Number 42. Wisconsin is known as the Badger State, but not because of the animal. The nickname actually originates from the state's lead miners in the early 19th century. These miners, who worked in the hills and dug tunnels for shelter during the harsh winters, were compared to badgers because of their burrowing lifestyle. The term stuck, and Wisconsin adopted the badger as an official state symbol, appearing on everything from sports team logos to government seals. Number 43. Space has a distinct smell, often described by astronauts as a mix of diesel fumes, gunpowder, and barbecue. This unique odor is caused by particles from dying stars, known as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are released into space and stick to astronauts' suits when they return to the spacecraft. Though space itself is a vacuum and odorless, these residual particles create a scent that reminds astronauts of burnt metal and charred steak, adding an unexpected sensory experience to space travel. Number 44. Louis Braille was only 12 years old when he began developing the tactile reading system that would change the lives of visually impaired people around the world. Inspired by a system of silent military communication, Braille simplified and adapted it into an efficient method using raised dots. Despite facing challenges and initial resistance, his system eventually became widely accepted, providing blind individuals with a way to read and write independently, revolutionizing accessibility in education and communication. Number 45. Before European explorers arrived, the area now known as West Virginia was home to a diverse range of indigenous tribes and cultures. Tribes such as the Shawnee, Cherokee, and Iroquois lived off the land, utilizing its abundant resources for hunting, fishing, and farming. The rugged Appalachian terrain provided natural protection and shaped their way of life. Though European settlers eventually displaced many of these tribes, their influence remains embedded in the state's culture, place names, and history. Number 46. Broccoli is part of the same family as cabbage, known as the Brassicaceae family, which also includes cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, kale, collard greens, and kohlrabi. This family of vegetables, commonly referred to as cruciferous vegetables, is packed with nutrients and health benefits. Rich in fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants, broccoli is widely recognized for its role in supporting heart health, digestion, and cancer prevention. Despite its sometimes polarizing taste, it remains a popular and versatile ingredient in many cuisines. Number 47. Famous composer Ludwig van Beethoven was highly particular about his morning coffee. insisting that each cup be made with exactly 60 beans. This meticulous habit reflects his obsession with precision, which extended beyond music to everyday life. Beethoven's coffee ritual became well known among his friends and contemporaries, who often found his demands amusing. Whether it was superstition or simply a preference, his love for coffee fueled his creative genius and rigorous composition process. Number 48. Venetia Burney, an 11-year-old girl from England, suggested the name Pluto for the then ninth planet of our solar system. Inspired by the Roman god of the underworld, she believed the name suited the distant, mysterious planet. Her suggestion was accepted in 1930, and Pluto remained a planet until its reclassification as a dwarf planet in 2006. Remarkably, Venetia lived long enough to witness Pluto's demotion, bringing her connection to the celestial body full circle. Number 49. The wood frog has an extraordinary survival ability. It can hold its urine for up to 8 months. During the freezing winter months, this amphibian's body enters a state of suspended animation, with its metabolism slowing down almost entirely. Urea, usually excreted as waste, is recycled within the frog's body to help prevent ice crystals from forming in its tissues. This incredible adaptation allows the wood frog to survive harsh conditions and resume normal activity when spring arrives. Number 50. Avocados contain a natural fungicide called persin, which is harmless to humans but highly toxic to certain animals, including cattle, goats, and birds. If ingested in large amounts, persin can cause respiratory distress, heart problems, and even death in some animals. While avocados are a beloved superfood for people, pet owners should be cautious about leaving them within reach of animals. Despite this toxicity, avocados remain a nutrient-rich fruit packed with healthy fats, fiber, and vitamins.